Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of History's Shadows. I'm your host, Alex. Today, we're going to examine a pivotal work in American literature, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin. This novel, written in 1851, played a crucial role in shaping public opinion about slavery in the United States. It tells the story of Uncle Tom, an enslaved black man who endures great hardship but maintains his faith and dignity. Alongside Tom's story, we meet other compelling characters like Eliza, a young mother who makes a daring escape to save her child from slavery. After a brief overview of the plot, we'll have an incredible opportunity to hear from Harriet Beecher Stowe herself to help us delve deeper into the motivations and characters of this historic novel. Stay with us on History's Shadows, where the past is never really past. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe is a powerful anti-slavery novel set in the 19th century United States. The story begins with Uncle Tom, a middle-aged enslaved black man who is sold by his Kentucky owner, Mr. Shelby, to settle a debt. Tom is bought by Mr. Haley, a slave trader. Eliza, another enslaved person on the Shelby plantation, overhears that her son, Harry, is also to be sold to Haley. She decides to flee north with Harry, hoping to reach freedom. Tom's journey leads him to the St. Clair family in Louisiana, where he becomes a beloved figure, especially to young Eva St. Clair. Eva's compassion and kindness contrast sharply with the harsh realities of slavery. After Eva's untimely death, Tom is sold again to the brutal Simon Legree. Legree resents Tom's faith and integrity and tries to break his spirit. Despite enduring extreme cruelty, Tom maintains his Christian faith and moral principles. Meanwhile, Eliza and Harry, aided by various sympathizers, make a perilous journey toward Canada. They endure close calls and hardships but eventually reach safety. Back on Legree's plantation, Tom refuses to betray two fellow slaves who escape, leading to his severe beating. As Tom lies dying, George Shelby, Mr. Shelby's son, arrives to buy Tom's freedom only to find he is too late. Moved by Tom's faith and resilience, George resolves to free all the enslaved people on his family's farm. The novel concludes with several characters reflecting on the moral and spiritual implications of slavery. Uncle Tom's Cabin was pivotal in raising awareness about the cruelties of slavery and galvanizing anti-slavery sentiment in the United States. Now, let's meet Harriet Beecher Stowe. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Stowe. This is such a rare opportunity for my listeners to meet such influential figure as yourself.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I love talking about my novel. Along with my family and many others, I hated slavery and wanted to do everything I could to abolish it.
Mrs. Stowe, could you tell us about your motivation for writing Uncle Tom's Cabin?
Certainly. The primary impetus for writing Uncle Tom's Cabin was to expose the brutal realities of slavery to my fellow Northerners. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 had a profound impact on me, revealing the complicity of the North in upholding the institution of slavery. I felt compelled to write a story that would showcase the humanity of enslaved individuals and the moral corruption inherent in slavery.
Fascinating. And can you introduce us to the character of Uncle Tom?
I would be happy to. In the solemn pages of my story, dear listeners, we are acquainted with a figure of such endurance and virtue that he stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of man under the harshest of afflictions. Uncle Tom, an enslaved man of noble heart and suffering, is a beacon of light in the dark world of bondage. His life, marked by trials and tribulations, is a journey through the depths of human cruelty and the heights of spiritual grace. Tom, our protagonist, is not merely a character. He is the embodiment of long-suffering patience and dignity. Enslaved yet unbroken, he traverses the valleys of sorrow with a faith that remains unshaken. His resilience, a shield against the scourge of despair, paints a portrait of a soul refined by adversity. Each trial, each injustice, he meets with a fortitude that springs from a well of deep, unwavering Christian faith. Throughout the chapters of Uncle Tom's Cabin, our Uncle Tom, steadfast in his convictions, touches the lives of all he encounters. In him, we see not just a man, but a moral force. His compassion, undimmed by his own sufferings, influences the hearts and minds of those around him. His presence is a mirror, reflecting the true nature of those he meets, revealing virtue in some and igniting change in others. In the creation of Uncle Tom, it has been my endeavor to present to you, dear listeners, not just a character in a story, but a symbol of hope and moral strength. His journey, marked by an unyielding faith and a boundless compassion, is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of the gravest injustices.
That's very powerful. And what about Eliza?
I wanted to represent a strong woman in my story also. In the tapestry of my narrative, woven with the threads of many a human heart, emerges the figure of Eliza, a character as remarkable in spirit as she is central to the tale. In the world of Uncle Tom's Cabin, where the human soul is tested by the severest trials, Eliza stands as a beacon of maternal devotion and undaunted courage. Her story is one that intertwines the tenderest of human affections with the most heroic of resolves. Eliza, whose every heartbeat echoes with the love for her child, is driven by an instinct so primal and pure that it elevates her above the fears and frailties that bind ordinary souls. This fierce maternal love sets her on a path fraught with peril, yet illuminated by the unquenchable flame of hope. In one of the most harrowing scenes that ever graced the pages of our story, Eliza, with her child clasped close to her breast, faces the frozen expanse of a treacherous river. Here we witness the true measure of her spirit. With a determination that belies her delicate frame, she braves the icy waters, each step a testament to her unwavering resolve. This act of bravery, a daring flight towards freedom, etches her image indelibly in our minds. As the narrative unfolds, Eliza's character evolves from that of a frightened, fleeing slave to a symbol of hope and an embodiment of the human yearning for liberty. Her journey, marked by both terror and triumph, mirrors the struggle of countless souls yearning for the sweet air of freedom. In Eliza, we find not only a mother's heart, but also the spirit of an era, a spirit that cries out against the chains of bondage and reaches towards the light of emancipation.
Mrs. Stowe, it has been an absolute honor and a privilege to have you with us today. Thank you sincerely for joining us and for sharing your invaluable perspectives. Your contributions to literature and social justice are immeasurable and will continue to inspire generations to come. Well, that's it for today. I'm sure you will agree that Uncle Tom's Cabin is more than just a novel. It's a historical document that provides insight into the attitudes and conflicts leading up to the American Civil War. It reminds us of the power of literature to affect social change. Until next time, this has been History's Shadows, where the past is never really past.